everyone. Welcome to the Pi and AI session, the expert interview with Sanyam Bhutani, hosted by DeepLearning. Now, first of all, if you're new to the Pi and AI event, you must be wondering what is Pi and AI. So, it is a series of meetups hosted by various communities independently in partnership with DeepLearning.AI. So these events are based around the domain of machine learning and artificial intelligence. We will have people interested in this domain who wish to learn more about it and share knowledge or just network with everyone with like-minded people. And these sessions will be talks from some experienced people, thought-provoking discussions, networking opportunities, hands-on project, or just introduction to some beginner-level topics. And first of all, now we have a greeting video from Andrew Ng and his team. So I'll just play this. It's like a small video, and if it's a quite like bit laggy, it's just due to the bit rates. But I hope that the audio is like clear.
Hello,
Hello,
Deep
deep
Learners.
learners.
I'm Andrew
Andrew
Ng,
Ng,
founder of
founder of
DeepLearning.AI,
DeepLearning.AI,
and I'm
and I'm
excited to
excited to
welcome
welcome
you
you
to a
to a
global
global
deep
deep
learning
learning
Actually, the
community.
audio is
I know many of
echoing,
you
so
are
you
here
need to
today
mute.
because you want to break into AI and build your career. I hope that being part of this community will help you to do so. To give you a proper welcome, I'd like to show you around the DeepLearning.AI offices and meet some of the teams so that you can see where it all happens.
Oh, hi, Andrew.
Do you want to tell our friends at Pine AI what you do at DeepLearning.ai?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I make articles and other media that help people learn about AI and help them understand the huge impact that AI is having in the world. Today, I'm putting together the next issue of The Batch, our weekly newsletter, and I'm looking for the biggest stories of the week to keep our readers informed.
What's been the most surprising thing you've run into working on The Batch?
How much is going on in this field? There is never a dull moment. You might think from the outside that machine learning engineers really understand everything about AI, but nobody understands everything about AI because this field is just coming to life right before my eyes as I put this thing together every week.
All right, I know you're really busy, so let's you get back to it.
Thanks. See you later.
Let's go meet Kian, who helped me create the deep learning specialization. He's working on an exciting new project. Hey Kian, so do you want to tell the people at Pine AI what you're working on?
Yes, sure. I'm leading a project called Workera, focusing on helping people get offers in AI and navigating their career by testing their skills, preparing for interviews and certifying them, as well as matching and referring them to good jobs in AI.
That's really cool. And what's the most exciting part of your day?
You know, the AI field is new, organizations and jobs are still misunderstood. So I'm excited to help people understand what different types of jobs exist in the field, what tasks they will work on, and what skills are needed to achieve those tasks.
That's really important work. Well, it's nice chatting. And now let's go chat to Hotel, who is on the product team.
Hey, Andrew.
Do you want to say hi to our friends at Pine AI and let them know what you're working on?
I would love to. Hi, everyone. I lead the product team in DeepLearning.AI, where we create AI education content accessible to people all around the world. People like you.
And what are you most excited about right now?
I am so excited to see our community grow and to see how eager people are to learn more about AI.
Thanks, also.
Thanks, Andrew.
So, as you can see, our team is working hard to support you and help you learn. It's never been easier than before to break into AI. So if you want to build a career, you can leverage online resources available, including open source code, datasets, papers, and online courses like a deep learning specialization on Coursera. As part of this journey, I hope you get your hands dirty too. Don't be afraid of diving in to build your own project, or go ahead and try to replicate a research paper that you're excited about. One thing that I've seen help a lot of people succeed is if you can build a community or find a community of fellow deep learners you can meet with and study with on a regular basis. In fact, I hope that this Pine AI meetup that you're at right now will be a good place for you to meet these people. I hope you enjoyed the event today and that you learn a lot, both from the talks and from each other. And once again, welcome to the DeepLearning.AI community.
Tejas, you are muted.
I think
So sorry. Okay, so thank you for the warm welcome, the DeepLearning.AI team. And now all about the today's interview. Like I'm a little bit nervous today because the person we are going to interview today is he interviews a lot of people and like personalities who are experienced practitioners in this domain. First of all, like he's an expert in MLAI domain and stands top in 1% of the global leaderboard on Kaggle. Sanyam Bhutani. He's he's one-time master and two times expert on Kaggle, and he hosts a podcast, Chai Time Data Science. On the show, he talks with experienced ML practitioners, and conversations he has with them are quite interesting and insightful. You can check out the channel afterwards. The link is provided in the description. And for the interview, let me just stop sharing and so we can see him. Okay, so yeah, welcome to the Pi and AI event on behalf of the entire Devs Collab team, Sanyam. And
Thanks, Tejas.
yeah, so first of all, as we all know that you have completed your bachelor's in computer engineering, and most of us here are like on the same path. So we connect with you, as I told you before, and like we feel that you are one of us. So first, we would like to know about like more about your journey from a like computer engineering student to such a successful AI practitioner who is in the top 1% of the Kaggle leaderboard.
Yeah, first of all, thanks again for having me on. As you introduced, I'm a master in discussions, which is obvious. I think at this point, I like discussing, maybe not good enough in competing yet. I don't think I'm an expert in ML/AI, still very much on my learning path. Still have to complete actually the DeepLearning.AI course. I've done 2 courses, I think, this evening once. But yeah, very excited to be here. So, about your question about my journey, I did enroll into a computer science degree, computer science slash EECS. That's the standard, I think, syllabus for all of us. That's how my journey sort of started. It was something I was always interested in, and it had quite a few turns along the road. So happy to dive into any of that.
So first, what advice would you give to the students like who haven't looked into this field of ML and AI but would like to start? They have seen what it is, like all the first about, like what's the first about, but they want to just start with it. Then what's your advice for that?
I would say just sign up for some course, but that's not good enough. That'll only give you a feeling of completing assignments, and you'll see this disconnect. Jump onto Kaggle or jump on a project. What was helpful for me was I signed up for pretty much all of the student clubs that we had in our university. Didn't find most of them interesting. Some were somewhat interesting, honestly. So just looking at things come to life. One of my first teams that I was on was a autonomous underwater vehicle, which is a fancy way of naming a submarine that you program. And we used to compete at these competitions. I was on the computer vision team, which meant that I was trying to detect objects through a camera using OpenCV by copying code from Stack Overflow, which sometimes would work. And when it did, that's when you have the wow moment. That's when you start to realize, oh, this actually works. And you can, in that case, I could quite literally see the submarine, the AUV. We had our own names for it. Actually moving underwater, just being able to see it come to life. So that's when you have this wow moment and this realization.
Yeah.
So that would be my suggestion.
Yeah, like when you mentioned that like you just try code from Stack Overflow and you just go into the student clubs, like that's where we connect with you. Like, yeah, we are doing the same, and we hope that one day we can like be there. So that's really great. And so now that this field is booming a lot, so every CS student, like, do you feel every student should at least try and explore it, or is it just fine to stick with traditional programming, like say web development or Android or something like that?
I think what was helpful for me was I didn't dive into this at first. I basically signed up for the degree expecting it to be this, movie like experience where you're sitting across five different terminals, lines are just blasting through the screen and green and black and stuff is happening, which did not. I was learning math and chemistry, physics in my first semester, got bored out of it. So I ended up signing for every single workshop and student club that we had on campus, which included web development courses, which included Android development courses. I tried iOS as well. I don't recommend it. It's quite slow on a 13-inch MacBook. At that time, not today. I have no idea. I tried signing up for a embedded course. I remember we would commute. Me and a buddy of mine would commute to IIT Madras every Saturday and Sunday to do this course on embedded systems. And then I found the classic machine learning course by Andrew, which also I didn't complete the assignments for. I just watched the videos, blasted through them in a few weeks. That's how I stumbled onto it. But I found my interest quite a bit there. Not to say that I stuck to it. I went on again on different tangents, came back to it. So I was just gradient descending my way into this. So if it's for you, I can't say that's how I discovered it. I just tried everything I could because why not?
Yeah, right. So like this is the main approach of everyone, like just trying to explore and find out what interests you the most. So that's the best way you can like stumble upon good things.
I guess one of the things is, and this is not true to machine learning, it may be quite true for machine learning, but you get burned out really fast or you get completely overwhelmed or intimidated really fast. So you, at least for me, I have to constantly remind myself why I started or why did I pick this path. And if there's a natural interest, it's much easier to remind yourself or tell yourself why did you end up. Why are you looking at some Reddit discussion or some Stack Overflow thread at 2 a.m., 3 a.m.? It's easier to remind yourself then if you have the interest.
Yeah, right. So that like beautifully brings on to the next question which I had was like most of the times when I got started, I guess everyone who's watching, like when they started, we feel this imposter syndrome. Like most of them have achieved so much things. Like when we see one of the like leaderboards, say Kaggle, and we see that so many people are doing so best. So we feel that a disconnect. Like, are we really going to reach there? So what advice do you have for like at the moments like this? What should one do?
Even that's something that even I struggle with, and that's why I ask this question a lot of times on the interview series that I host. That how did the grandmaster, how did this person who's in the top 5 of competitions ranking go from just starting their journey to there? And even they do share this experience, quite a bit of them, that the first competition is always it hits you in the face, at least it did to me. And there is this gap. Now you could give up or you could continue staying at it. I think the only way you not get to the top of the leaderboard eventually is giving up midway. And a lot of self-doubt is involved. Maybe I'm not competing because I'm not just confident enough. I use not having the time as an excuse. Maybe I'm scared too. So take it with a bit of grain of salt. But I think it'll always be there. That's how this field is. There's just so much going on Twitter. Even if you open Twitter any day, new rips is coming up. You'll see those papers again. I can't connect the dots of, hey, I've seen XYZ. I understand how this works, but I can't see how did those authors go from these concepts to that groundbreaking paper. At least the ones that are visual and I can understand, that I'm able to understand. So I think the imposter syndrome will stay, at least for me it will.
Yeah. So the only thing is like reminding yourself like why you started and finding your interest.
That's what keeps me at it, at least.
Yeah. So, like you mentioned about the NIPS and the research papers, one of my problem, like I would like most of them would relate to is everyone will, like if you go into a discussion thread, they're all discussing about something, and then there you feel like, come on, now what is this? Like, why did not I get to it first? So, how do you keep yourself updated with the ML trends and like all the blogs or some special websites or something else, newsletters?
I don't try to. I have this way of keeping up with it, which is I just open as many tabs as I can and then minimize the window until the laptop's too damn slow. And then I start cleaning up the tabs eventually one by one. So I open them up. If they still seem interesting after those 2 weeks of which I go back to them, I probably end up reading them. Most of the times I just close the tab because I know what it was.
Yeah, that's an interesting way. Okay, now on to the chai time data science. Like I am excited for this. Now, I would like to break the third wall and address the audience that to tell them something about the podcast, Chai Time Data Science. It is a very interesting, like amazing show where you get to listen to experiences of some amazing people and like who have achieved some milestones in the field of machine learning and data science. So that's how you like know. And the question he asks them, like you feel like you had those questions in your mind and you're getting them cleared over there on the show. So Sanyam, you have interviewed a lot of amazing personalities like Jeremy Howard, the founding researcher of Fast.ai, then Daniel Burke, Kenji, then Lavanya from Vets and Biases, and so many more. So, could you share with us the preparation that you went through to put up this podcast and all the experiences that you had during this process?
Sure. It was quite an impulsive decision, and thanks for checking out the podcast. If I were to rephrase your question, all of these people have been kind enough to come on my podcast. It's not that I've gotten them onto my podcast. How this started was I was doing a blog interview series, and I basically stopped doing that because it felt that I was requesting the other person to write a blog for me. Not that anyone ever complained, but I didn't feel it was right, and it didn't have this live or conversational aspect. I would always go back to so essentially they would send their answers, I would read them, and I would think, I wish I could do this follow up. And since I had graduated at that point, and I didn't have this noisy neighborhood where you would have parties all around the clock happening, I thought maybe I could start a podcast. 2 or 3 weeks into this idea, I ended up quitting most of my freelance contracts, which were quite good at that point. Even at this point, I would say quite good since those were Bay Area companies that I was consulting mostly. Started the podcast, just went on, turned on the camera, and said, "Hey, I'm going to drop an episode every Thursday and Sunday with my machine learning heroes." Just kept at it.
Yeah. So yeah, every like 2 days in a week. So that must be like very tight schedule, and you have to manage inviting people, and then like if they are kind enough to come, as you say, then you have to manage the questions and everything. So how do you manage to get the schedule right and like be on it?
Drink a lot of chai and don't get burned out. But you end up getting burned out, at least I have. And the other thing I forgot to mention was this was another interesting tangent that I was just thinking about, that if I were to follow the traditional path of doing content, I would end up reading about sound engineering, reading about how to do interviews, whatnot, just taking up courses on that. But just because I declared that, hey, I'm going to launch this series on a particular date, which I did, I kind of forced myself into that learning while kicking off the podcast. And this could be taken for as an advice for machine learning, although it's of course not as easy as just asking questions on video. But that forcing myself to learn aspect was pretty helpful. About managing everything, I think I've gotten better at it. Of course, I have to, otherwise it's quite troublesome. For as a challenge for this year, I've challenged myself to releasing one episode sharp at 9 a.m. Pacific Thursdays and Sundays. Last year I missed a few, and just having general planning around that, having a plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E in place. Sometimes people get busy, they have to cancel. Sometimes you can't get the permission cleared to publish the interview in time, and the Thursday is coming up. It's one day away, so you need another backup there. Sometimes you have to reach out to people a month in advance just to schedule, because most of the people I interview are very busy with much important work, so it takes a bit to get them on the show. So just having all of that planning, or trying to get all of that planning into place.
Yeah, like this question that I asked you about schedule was like entirely to thank you in front of everyone that you kept out this time for us in your busy schedule, and you were kind enough to agree and come here and do this interview. So
Very
thanks a
happy
lot.
to do it. No, thanks again.
So I feel from this conversation that a lot of students like me are gaining very important insights, and the questions were more of a practical machine learning approach. And but I would also like to ask your take on philosophical aspects of AI. Like to start with, there is a kind of a cliche question. Like I might sound a little bit stupid, but bear with me. Like I would like to know your take on good AI and bad AI. Like, do you believe that AI might take over and pose a threat to the human race?
That's a good question. I haven't thought a lot about it. I was pretty mad when the AWS on East Coast was down because my smart speaker wasn't working. So that's bad AI for me, quite literally. But I haven't given it that much of a thought, just because for me it looks so far away. I'm still battling with those stack traces where I have tensor mismatches. I know much smarter people than me are working in this, so it may not be that far away, but I don't try to think
Yeah.
too much about that. Right now, what I try to work on, or what most of the people are working on, is just narrow AI. So it's as good as bad as the data that goes into it. And for me, that also is a personal responsibility to just have the pipeline in place. So maybe there's good AI, maybe there's bad AI if there's consciousness in it. I haven't personally given it a lot of thought.
Yeah, that's really like interesting to just think about. But yeah, there are many questions about narrow AI also. Like we are trying to do something. But the thing is that when businesses and company they think about their revenue, right? So they'll just use something to have a better thing, and then it might affect in some way that there are biases in the model as we see. So on a large scale, what we need to focus on is the problems of narrow AI. So I would like to know your takes on that. Like, what do you think about that?
So in context of broad AI, I don't know how it'll connect. Narrow pieces of AI will connect. But yep, I think that's how we should look at it, which is how we're looking at it. You solve individual problems, and I think to some extent the scope of narrow AI also has been broadening. So in the sense that many of the things that we're taking for granted right now, even though we start by learning about HAR cascades, how to detect faces and whatnot, that's how you start, right, with OpenCV and whatnot. Those things are taken for granted. When you click a photo, if you tune into any keynote of any phone, you can see that it's already doing all of that stuff by itself in a single tab. So you don't even have to worry about it. And if you look at the articles, they were just from 2015. So 5 years ago, we were just looking at how to detect a face, and now we already have figured out, how to have the contours in place, how to take into account for that, and do it under a second on a phone that costs 20,000-30,000 rupees, right? So I think it'll eventually continue broadening, but to the extent of having consciousness, I'm not sure. It's important stuff for sure, though.
Yeah. So, okay, one last philosophical question, kind of like I know the answer might be similar, but do you believe that we humans can ever create AGI, artificial general intelligence? And if yes, how many decades might it take? Like, is it too far along to even think about? And if not, then what do you think might be the biggest hurdle in this?
Um, I don't think I can make a prediction on this, and I don't want to be dismissive of it either. But again, I try not to think too much about it, just because I struggle with CUDA errors every now and then. I was trying to set up CUDA on this, and it's a nightmare. If you have your own machine, you would know. Maybe not. Maybe you're smarter than me. But yeah, I think it may or may not happen. When would it happen? We'll have to find out. It's something
Yeah.
that I don't think too much about. I'm struggling with dictionary errors and stack traces.
Yeah. So right now, so again, we thank you for again agreeing to one of the segment, that is meme review. So we wanted to
Let's
make
do
it
it.
a little bit, yeah, we wanted to make it a little bit fun. Like this weekend there is Netflix Stream Fest, so the kind of crowd moves over there. But we are making it fun. So I'll share the screen. They are all the memes related to deep learning and AI, and
Go
most
for
of
it.
the time, yeah, it's like it just hits on your experiences, right? So we want to see how relatable they are.
Sure.
So yeah, is it visible?
Yes, I can see it.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the first one.
uh, it's something I still skip. I have plenty of books right outside the frame. Let's see which ones make sense. Yeah, I have a book on stats. I have a book on math. I have the classical deep learning book as well right here. It's there in the queue. I haven't read it. I'm still skipping beyond it, maybe just because I'm scared. So it's not just true to a freshie. I think it's true for me also.
Yeah, so according to you, like, is it okay to skip those things? Because yeah, there are a few libraries, TensorFlow, FastAI, and they allow us to do it, and it's great that you get interested and then you look for statistics and stuff when you really need it. So is that a right way according to you?
I mean, there are different depths to this rabbit holes, right? Of course, you need some understanding. Of course, you should be able to get stuff done. But what's more important is how fast can you, at least what matters in quote unquote industry is how fast can you ship something. So, yeah, as long as you can translate a business idea into the right pipeline, even if you don't know the math, you should be fine, but you would have to know some of it.
Okay, so the next one.
Should be GPT-3 now.
Now it will be GPT-3. Like this just reflects on how media misreads it for the audience who is not well versed with all the machine learning domain. So that,
I think there's some truth to it as well. It's quite convincing. GPT-3's text outputs are somewhat still more convincing, I would say.
yeah. Okay. So this is the next one we have. I think this is relatable to like everyone, like beginners and everyone.
Oh, it's relatable to everyone. This one hits it too close to home.
Okay, now the final. Yeah. Continue, please.
Just try everything until something works.
Yeah, just
Don't
tuning
listen.
all that.
Don't add me for that though.
Now the last one we have, we have tried to just cater it for you. So
Okay.
we wanted to what?
I think I've also posted something like this on Kaggle at one point in time.
Yeah, so this is the thing most of them struggle with, right? So just trying to overfit to the given test data set, and finally all the rankings shuffle.
I remember at one point we were competing in this competition, and we were so far into overfitting that we were just writing black magic in the commit messages. Hope this works. We'll pray to God if this gets up in the leaderboard, and we fell by quite a good amount of positions in that competition. So that was a good experience or a good chai conversation for me.
Yeah. So on this, related to this, I would just try to ask you, like, it's my personal question, and I know most of them would like to ask, like, if I'm starting now with the first competition, so are there any tips and tricks, do's and don'ts for getting up there?
Don't take anything from me. Everyone has their own journey. Just sign up. Don't wait too long. You don't need to know stats. You don't need to know Python to a good extent either. You don't need to know FastAI either. Jump on the leaderboard, copy from kernels, submit from them. Don't plagiarize. Give due credit if you're again doing something like that. But just get on the leaderboard. Let it make you addicted. Get you addicted to Kaggle. Spend Radek Osmalski. He's one of my mentors. One of the mentors to the Fast AI community actually shared how you can win a competition. Just spend a few minutes every day on a competition that you like. Figure out how to improve your position. Don't chart a route. Don't create this own degree that you need to do fast here, you need to do stats, you need to do math. It's helpful, but you'll still struggle. So figure it out as you go. Just jump on the leaderboard, have some fun, and you might even win a medal in your first few competitions, which is how I got addicted.
Yeah, right. Okay, so the next segment is the rapid fire round, for which Suyash will be like shooting questions on you.
Let's do it.
Yeah, Suyash, you want to take over?
Okay, so thank you, Samay, for joining us. So for the rapid fire round, we have around 10 questions and you have 1 second to answer. The answer can be yes or no, this or that, like
Okay.
that. So the first question is TensorFlow or PyTorch?
PyTorch.
And PyTorch or FastAI?
PyTorch.
Okay. And the next question we have Kaggle notebooks or Google Colab notebooks?
Kaggle notebooks. I don't like Colab so much. Hot take.
Okay. Then for content, blogs or YouTube videos, like to learn more content.
Both. I do both. I try to do both.
Now the next question is GANs, good or bad, as the ethical questions are also on. Yes.
I would say good.
Now this one is for hosting free models. What do you prefer, AWS, Google Cloud, or Heroku?
AWS.
Okay. And now the next one, how do you like to split your data, 60, 20, 20 or 80, 20?
Whatever gets me the highest accuracy. Hot take.
Now the next we have, which one is better, BERT or GPT-2?
I like BERT more.
Now the next one is, which one is leading AI research, Facebook AI research or OpenAI?
I respect both of them, so I don't think I can pick from either.
Sure. Okay, now the next one is learning ML for knowledge or to understand memes.
For memes, of course. Who's learning it for knowledge? We don't need
Yeah.
that. I can
We
Google
don't do
that
that
stuff.
yet. Yes. And the next is very like the important question of the hour. Which do you prefer, coffee or chai?
Chai, of course. What's the other thing you said?
Coffee.
Sorry, what?
Okay,
Oh, nice one.
What's that?
that's yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Sanyam. That was our rapid fire round. So moving on to Tejas now.
Yeah. So really thank you so much, and we hope that you had a little bit fun over here, and we hope that the audience had fun and they got like important insights from everything, and we hope that you by getting inspired from him, you just start, like as he said, you just have to go on to a competition, just try out and get addicted to it, right? So yeah, we hope it gave you all the insights, and thank you so much again, Sayam, for doing this with us.
Sure
Do you
thing,
have any
thanks.
final words for the audience?
No, first, thanks again for this opportunity. I would just say, not to give any advices. I didn't particularly follow any advices. I started a blog which had some readership, ended it because I got bored. Started a podcast, now I'm going to end it. Did Kaggle for a few months, gave up before becoming a master, just one silver medal away. So if you are to listen to any advice, I would say don't listen to any advices. Just do what you enjoy, have fun every day. Keep reminding yourself why you started on any journey. If it's machine learning, that's great. If not, that's also great. But yeah, have fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much again. And all the attendees who had registered for the event, will receive a feedback email from the DeepLearning.AI team. And after they fill out that form, you will receive a discount of 50% on all their DeepLearning.AI course on Coursera for the first month. And so keep an eye out on that mail. And if you wish to stay connected with us and work on amazing projects, you want to attend future events and get notified, so join our Discord server, DevScolab Discord server. We all are there, like trying to create an open source community, learn by sharing. We totally we have a hard belief in learning by sharing with peers. So if you want to join us on the Discord, the moderators will put that link in the YouTube chat. And yeah, we can connect there and discuss more about this today's topic, further AI events, and anything else. So thank you once again. Have a great day, and let's keep machine learning. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks again.
Hello, Jesh. Did you start that music? And we are muted, right, on the stream.